Welcome to the deep dive. We try to cut through all that noise, the endless info, that feeling of overwhelm you get every day.
Yeah, get to what actually matters.
Exactly. If you want to be, genuinely informed, understand the why behind the what, you're definitely in the right place. Today, we're diving into something our sources are calling the flood. Sounds intense, right?
It does, and it's not just about the sheer amount of information, though that's definitely a piece of it.
Okay.
It's more this feeling of being constantly distracted, disconnected, even kind of dissatisfied. It seems, well, everywhere these days.
Right.
And it seems fueled by these, mechanistic, digital ways of looking at the world. Everything's about consumption, quick deals, speed.
Always speed.
Always speed. And often, depth, real connection, purpose, they kind of get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, that makes sense. And our sources talk about this creating a crisis of meaning. You know that feeling?
Oh, absolutely. Like you're spinning your wheels.
Totally. Yeah. Busy, but not really getting anywhere meaningful. And the thing is, you can't just, fix this with a quick hack.
No superficial solutions here.
Right. It needs something deeper. Our sources point towards cultivating inner wisdom.
And they break it down into 4 areas, these domains: waking up, growing up, cleaning up, and showing up.
And for this deep dive, we're really focusing in our mission, unpack growing up, specifically how building and gaining perspective is so critical for it.
Yeah, how that helps you cultivate inner wisdom and ultimately stand up to this modern flood.
Okay, so inner wisdom. Before we get too far into growing up, let's nail this down. What are we actually talking about when we use that term? It gets thrown around a lot.
It really does. And what's cool is how the source material blends different viewpoints, Western and Eastern.
Okay.
So from a Western angle, you often think of wisdom as making really good decisions based on knowledge, experience, ethical understanding, solid stuff.
Standard definition, yeah.
But then Eastern traditions add this other layer. They see wisdom coming more from, say, deep introspection, spiritual practice.
Okay.
Yeah, giving insight into things like impermanence, how everything's connected.
So it sounds like a really powerful mix. You take the logic, the experience from the West, add the introspection from the East. What's the working definition we end up with?
We land on something like this: a state of consciousness that reveals deep insights through a process of discernment.
Okay.
It involves an intuitive capacity to understand the interconnected dimensions of reality to make thoughtful decisions.
Wow. Intuitive capacity. Interconnected dimensions. So that's not just smarts.
Not at all. Think of it like your inner GPS, maybe. It's that state where you're not just knowing facts, but you feel how things connect. You discern insights.
And that lets you make thoughtful decisions, aligned decisions.
Exactly. It's less about what you know, much more about how you know and what you do with that knowing.
That's such a key point, isn't it? Because growing up in this context isn't just about getting smarter or knowing more facts.
Right. It's not about boosting cognitive power in the usual sense.
Cultivating wisdom, the sources say, needs something bigger. It requires expanding your perspective.
And critically, that includes questioning, what knowledge even is, challenging your own assumptions about knowing.
Okay, so perspective is king here. But, people often mix up perception and perspective. I do it myself sometimes.
Very common.
Can you clear that up? Why the confusion? And what is perspective in this growing up sense?
Okay, so perception. Think of it as your immediate, raw experience, the data hitting your senses right now.
Sight, sound, touch.
Exactly. What you see, hear, taste, smell, feel, it's the raw data feed from the world. And we often work on sharpening that in the waking up domain.
Got it. Raw data stream. So perspective then is?
Perspective is what you do with that stream. How you interpret it makes sense of it. It involves your whole mental setup, your values, beliefs, past experiences, your emotional state right now. All of it shapes your perspective.
And in the world today, which feels, frankly, chaotic,
Totally volatile.
grounding yourself and getting perspective sounds crucial to sort through the noise.
Absolutely crucial. It helps clarify assumptions that might be distorting how you see things or just causing confusion. Perception feeds you the info.
But perspective turns it into wisdom.
You got it. It transforms raw data into meaningful insights, seeing beyond the immediate, integrating knowledge with compassion, with insight.
That distinction feels really important. So perception gives us the ingredients. Perspective is a recipe for wisdom. What's a common mistake if you confuse them?
Well, a big one is just reacting straight from perception, See a headline, feel angry, fire off a comment.
Guilty.
We all are sometimes. That's perception driving. Perspective is pausing, thinking, okay, what's the source? What's the context? Are there other ways to see this?
That pause.
That pause is everything. It allows perspective to kick in before you react.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Okay.
Now, our sources say perspective isn't just one thing. It's built on 3 core dimensions, kind of working together.
Right. Interdependent dimensions, reflection, balance, and discernment.
And supported by 5 elements, apparently.
Yeah.
Like a tripod holding it all up.
Yeah, that's a good way to picture it. They all work together to help you grow up.
All right, let's unpack them. Starting with reflection. What's that about?
Reflection is fundamentally about expanding your self-awareness, your ability to really process your experiences.
Not just react to them.
Exactly. It's creating that internal space, mental, emotional, for deeper understanding, and then, crucially, for more intentional action, moving beyond those knee-jerk reactions.
Okay, and what does that actually strengthen in us?
It really helps you get to the root causes of things, not just the surface issues. It lets you evaluate your emotions, your beliefs, your assumptions, like really look at them. And then you can align your actions much better with what you actually value, your real goals.
That idea of getting past reactive patterns through reflection, that feels huge. What are the maybe internal challenges or aids when you try to reflect deeply? Are there specific forces involved?
Oh, definitely. When you start doing this, you inevitably run into 2 key elements the sources highlight. First is resistance.
Resistance, like pushing back.
Yeah, but it's about engaging with it,
Yeah.
engaging with the discomfort, the challenges, the blocks that come up when you try to look honestly at yourself. That's where the insights often hide.
Okay, lean into the discomfort. What's the second one?
Humility, which is basically acknowledging what you don't know, being willing to let go of your fixed ideas, your preconceived notions.
The I might be wrong muscle.
Exactly, being open to new info, even if it, rocks your boat a bit. Okay, so after reflection, we have balance.
Balance, what does that bring to the table?
Balance is about creating the right conditions for clear thinking, for intentional action, and for that deep reflection we just discussed.
So it's like setting the stage.
Precisely. It helps you avoid extremes like being overconfident or super impulsive. It creates the space needed for discernment, for creativity to actually emerge. Balance integrates reflection, discernment, and action, so you can handle complexity, tension with more awareness. And it's supported by 2 key elements.
Which I'm guessing are also easier said than done.
You guessed it. The first is restraint.
Holding back.
Consciously moderating impulses, creating that pause, that space for clarity before you jump in.
The opposite of the instant reaction.
Right. And the second element is intention, acting purposefully, aligning what you do with your deeper motivations, your long-term goals.
So acting on purpose, not just acting.
Exactly. Not by default or accident. And that brings us to the third dimension, discernment.
Discernment. Sounds like judgment, but maybe more refined.
It is refined. It's your ability to accurately perceive, but also differentiate between situations, actions, consequences, understanding the nuances.
So not just seeing black and white.
Not at all. It's key for wisdom because it lets you make skillful choices, not just, okay choices. Discernment helps you figure out what's true, what's valuable, what's appropriate in different, often messy contexts. It sharpens your perspective and really builds the foundation for wise decisions. And this one is supported by meaning-making.
Meaning-making. Sounds like storytelling, almost.
In a way, it's about critically evaluating your experiences and then weaving them into a coherent story, a constructive narrative that makes sense to you.
And that story informs future choices.
Exactly. It shapes future perspectives and actions. So it's not just collecting data points, it's integrating them into your understanding of the world and yourself.
Wow. Okay, so these 3, reflection, balance, discernment, they're really intertwined, aren't they? Like a dynamic system.
A total dance, yeah. Helping us grow up our perspective. But here's the kicker, the secret sauce for that dance. The intersection where these 3 meet. It absolutely needs something we often ignore, but it's essential for well-being, for wisdom.
What is it?
Space.
Space, like literal time and space.
Yes, but also mental and emotional space. Without it, we lose the ability to process anything properly, to prepare, to recover. We end up just drained, disconnected.
Oh man, that hits home. Daily life feels exactly like that sometimes. Jumping from meeting to email to notification.
Right. Overwhelmed by 3 p.m., barely keeping your head above water.
My calendar definitely hates empty space. It gets filled instantly.
And that's the compression of space the flood creates. That relentless stream of info, notifications, dings, demands.
It trains us to react instantly.
Exactly. Reflexively. It blurs everything personal, professional, reflective time into this one chaotic mess. Our whole culture pushes speed and urgency, and it's just eroded those boundaries.
So, okay, we feel overwhelmed, but what's the deeper cost? What does this constant compression actually do to us?
The impact is huge. Your attention gets shattered. It's hard to focus, hard to just be present.
Yeah.
You lose sight of what actually matters, your priorities. Without that space to reflect, you get cut off from your own inner wisdom. You can't discern what's important.
You can't hold complex thoughts.
Right. Or access those deeper insights. And here's a crucial point from the sources. It's space, not just time, that's fundamental for building capacity.
Space, not time. Say more about that.
It means you need that emptiness, that stillness, for genuine insight to even have a chance to bubble up. It's the fertile ground where wisdom can grow. Time alone isn't enough if it's constantly filled.
That sounds like a massive challenge then. How do we even begin to create this space when everything seems designed to eliminate it?
It's a huge challenge. Like in coaching, a big piece of the work is often helping people build simple, self-reflective practices just to create some space.
What kinds of practices? Are they complicated?
Not at all. They can be super simple. Intentional breathing, just pausing for a minute. A moment of mindfulness, maybe asking yourself a question about your day before bed.
Just small pauses.
Tiny pauses, just becoming grounded, maybe examining a decision before you make it. These small acts push back against that flood of demands and emotions.
But hey, it feels weird sometimes, doesn't it? To just stop.
Totally, that's the conditioning. Even when we find a moment of space, we often feel guilty, like we're wasting time because we're so wired for productivity. Discomfort bubbles up. And this idea of space, it's not new. It connects really deeply with older wisdom traditions.
Like what?
Well, in Buddhism, for instance, they talk about spaciousness. But it's not just emptiness. It's an open state of mind, free from fixed ideas, automatic reactions.
Openness.
Yeah. It cultivates peace, freedom. Chogyam Trungpa, a well-known teacher, said, a tremendous sense of freedom comes along with that kind of openness.
A tremendous sense of freedom. I like that. I also heard the Tibetan word for suffering, dukkha, relates to this.
It does, fascinatingly. Dukkha is made of du, meaning difficult or crowded, and ka, meaning empty or space. So dukkha literally suggests crowded space as a source of suffering, of that feeling of dissatisfaction.
Wow, so feeling crammed, mentally or physically, is suffering.
That's the insight. And then you look at sukha, ease, bliss, happiness. It comes from su, meaning expanded or harmonious. And ka, again, space. So harmonious, expanded space cultivates ease, joy, clarity. It's the antidote to feeling squeezed.
That's incredible. Just the language itself holds the key. So spaciousness isn't just empty, it's receptive.
Exactly. Spacious awareness. It's this open, receptive state where insights can just arise naturally, not forced, unclouded by urgency.
So for you listening, maybe pause and ask yourself, what's filling up your space right now?
And how could you bring even tiny moments of spaciousness into your day?
Yeah. And which of your habits, or maybe potential new habits, could help loosen those fixed views by creating space?
Because ultimately these reflective spaces, they aren't just nice to haves, they're not luxury breaks.
They're essential practices.
Totally essential for loosening fixed ideas, grounding yourself, rediscovering what actually matters to you.
It's where you challenge assumptions.
Discern resistance, understand things beyond the surface, practice that restraint we talked about.
It creates the room for real intention, for wisdom. You know that old saying, nature abhors a vacuum, feels so true today. Any empty moment gets filled instantly. And the sources just hammer this home. Without intentionally creating and protecting that space, we lose the ability to gain perspective.
Which is the core of growing up.
Right, the very essence of it for cultivating wisdom. So, bringing this deep dive toward a close, we've seen how balance and reflection build the discernment you need for perspective. And cultivating, building, expanding that perspective, it's not just about knowing more. It's about inviting new experiences, letting go of old views that don't serve you.
Developing that skill to differentiate, to see the nuances.
All supporting this domain of growing up, cultivating inner wisdom.
But, and this is crucial, to actually maintain that perspective. To use resistance and intention. Well, to practice restraint and humility.
You have to first see the invisible enemy.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You have to recognize how pervasive this compression of space really is. It's silent, but it undermines everything.
So the final takeaway. only by intentionally emptying, guarding, and allowing spaciousness
Allowing it, yes.
can you really start to withstand this flood, cultivate that inner wisdom, and develop a way of being that feels more present, more intentional.
Well said.
So here's a thought to leave you with. Consider this what is one small, maybe seemingly insignificant space you can intentionally create in your day, starting today or tomorrow. And just notice what new insight might bubble up from that simple pause.